She mistakenly takes a Billionaire suitcase at the airport, but he finds it and love in the mix-up. Have you ever grabbed the wrong suitcase at the airport? What if that one mistake led you to the love of your life? Welcome, welcome, welcome to a story that's going to make you believe in fate, second chances, and the kind of love that finds you when you least expect it. Whether you're watching from the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, somewhere beautiful in Europe, across Africa, or anywhere else in this incredible world, I'm so grateful you're here. Before we jump into this journey, do me a huge favor, hit that like button right now, smash that subscribe so you never miss stories like this, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Are you Team USA, Canada, UK, Australia, Africa? I want to know who's here. Now, let me tell you about Odessa Gaines and Booker Whitlock. She's 35, exhausted from life, and just trying to get home. He's 37, a billionaire tech mogul who's forgotten what it feels like to be surprised. And one identical black suitcase at Charleston International Airport? That's about to change everything. Odessa's hands shook as she reached for the black suitcase on the baggage carousel. Not from nerves. From pure exhaustion. 35 years old, and she felt ancient. The fashion conference in New York had drained every ounce of energy she had left. 3 days of networking, pitching her designs to buyers who looked through her like she was invisible, sleeping 4 hours a night in a hotel room that cost more than her monthly rent. All she wanted was to get home to Charleston, crawl into her own bed, and sleep for a week. The suitcase looked exactly like hers. Black. Hard shell. Silver zipper. She grabbed it without thinking, without checking the tag, without doing any of the careful things she usually did. Because Odessa Gaines was always careful. Had to be. When you grew up watching Every Penny, when your dad died of a heart attack when you were 30 and left your ma with nothing, when you spent 5 years clawing your way into a fashion industry that didn't want you, you learned to be careful. But today she was just tired. She wheeled the suitcase through the airport, through the humid Charleston evening, into the rideshare that would take her to her small apartment in North Charleston. The driver tried to make small talk. She gave him one-word answers until he got the hint. Home. Finally home. Her apartment was tiny but hers. 1 bedroom, a kitchen barely big enough to turn around in, a living room she'd decorated with thrift store finds and her own art on the walls. It wasn't much, but it was hers. She dropped the suitcase by her bed and fell face first onto the mattress. Sleep. That's all she needed. Sleep, and then tomorrow she'd deal with everything else. The bills stacking up. The designs that hadn't sold. The slowly dying dream of making it as a fashion designer. Tomorrow. But her phone buzzed. Then buzzed again. Then started ringing. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her pick up. Hello. Thank God. The voice was male, deep, with an edge of panic that didn't match the smooth confidence underneath. This is going to sound crazy, but I think you have my suitcase. Odessa sat up. What? The airport. Charleston. About an hour ago. Black hard-shell suitcase with a silver zipper. Please tell me you grabbed one that looks exactly like that. Her stomach dropped. She looked at the suitcase by her bed. How did you get my number? The tag on your suitcase. The one I accidentally took. It has your contact information. Oh my God. She stood up, went to the suitcase, really looked at it for the first time. Same as hers. Almost exactly the same. Except, she flipped the tag. This one had initials embossed in the leather. BW. Please tell me you have it, the man said again. Please tell me you didn't leave it at the airport, or... I have it. I'm sorry. I was exhausted and I just grabbed it and I didn't even check and... It's okay. It's okay. These things happen. He sounded relieved. Actually relieved. Can we meet? To switch them back. Now. It's almost 9 at night. I know. I'm sorry. But I have meetings tomorrow morning and I really need what's in that suitcase. I'll come to you. Wherever you are. I'll make it easy. Something about his voice made her hesitate. Smooth. Too smooth. Like someone used to getting what he wanted. Where are you? She asked. Downtown. The Belmond Charleston place. Of course. The fanciest hotel in the city. She should have known. I'm in North Charleston. About 20 minutes from you. Give me your address. I'll be there in 15. You don't have a car. You just flew in. I'll get a car. She laughed despite herself. Of course you will. Is that a yes? Odessa looked around her tiny apartment. Looked at herself in the mirror by the door. Still wearing the same jeans and sweater from the conference. Hair in a messy bun. No makeup. Exhausted. This was a terrible idea. Fine. But you're not coming inside. We'll meet in the parking lot. Deal. She gave him the address. Hung up. Stared at the suitcase. What kind of person stays at the Belmond and has meetings so important they need their suitcase back at 9 p.m. on a weeknight? She opened it. Just a crack. Just to see. Suits. Expensive ones. The kind that cost more than her rent. A laptop that looked like it cost more than her car. Papers with letterhead that said, Whitlock Technologies. She closed it fast. Oh no. She pulled out her phone and searched, Whitlock Technologies Charleston. The first result made her stomach flip. Booker Whitlock, 37, CEO and founder of Whitlock Technologies, has revolutionized the tech industry with his innovative approach to. There was a photo. Dark-haired. Sharp jawline. Hazel eyes that looked like they could see right through you. Attractive in that untouchable billionaire way. A billionaire. She'd stolen a billionaire's suitcase. Odessa looked around her apartment again. The peeling paint she kept meaning to fix. The second-hand furniture. The designs pinned to the wall that no one wanted to buy. This was going to be humiliating. 15 minutes later, exactly 15 minutes, like he'd timed it, headlights swept across her parking lot. Not a rideshare. A actual car. Black. Sleek. Probably cost more than she'd make in 5 years. Odessa grabbed both suitcases and went downstairs. Stood in the parking lot under the flickering light, feeling underdressed and exhausted and completely out of her depth. The car door opened. Booker Whitlock stepped out. The photo hadn't done him justice. He was tall, she'd guess 6'2", with dark brown hair that looked professionally styled even at 9 p.m. Those hazel eyes found hers immediately. He wore dark jeans and a gray Henley that probably cost $300 but looked casual on him. He smiled. Not the fake businessman smile. Something real. You must be Odessa. And you must be the billionaire whose suitcase I stole. He laughed. Actually laughed. I prefer tech entrepreneur, but billionaire works. I'm so sorry about this. I was exhausted and I just grabbed. Stop apologizing. I did the exact same thing. That's why I have your suitcase. He gestured to his car. It's in the trunk. Want to make the swap? They walked to his car together. He popped the trunk and there was her suitcase. Same black hard shell. Same silver zipper. But with her tags, her stickers from the thrift store where she'd bought it. I owe you for this, he said, taking his suitcase from her. For bringing it home. For not leaving it at the airport. For answering your phone at 9 p.m. when a stranger called. You don't owe me anything. It was an honest mistake. Still. He studied her face. Those hazel eyes were intense. She felt seen in a way that made her uncomfortable. Let me buy you coffee. Or dinner. Or both. That's not necessary. I know. But I want to. Why? The question seemed to surprise him. Because you seem interesting. And I don't meet interesting people very often. You don't even know me. Exactly. That's what coffee is for. Odessa should have said no. Should have taken her suitcase, said goodbye, and never thought about Booker Whitlock again. But something about the way he looked at her, like he actually wanted to know her, not just get his suitcase back, made her pause. "One coffee," she heard herself say. "That's it. One coffee," he agreed. "Tomorrow? There's a place on King Street. Priceless. I know it. 10 a.m. She should have been working on designs. Should have been job hunting. Should have been doing anything except having coffee with a billionaire who was way out of her league. Fine. 10 a.m. His smile was genuine. "Thank you. For this. For saying yes. For making the worst travel day I've had in months actually interesting." Worst travel day. You stayed at the Belmond. Money doesn't make a day good. Just makes it expensive. She laughed. Couldn't help it. He extended his hand. Booker Whitlock. Official introduction. She shook it. His hand was warm. Strong. Odessa Gaines. Accidental suitcase thief. "I'll see you tomorrow, Odessa Gaines." He got in his car and drove away. Left her standing in the parking lot with her suitcase and the strange feeling that something had just shifted in her life. Back in her apartment, she opened her suitcase properly. Everything was there. Her clothes. Her sketches. The one nice dress she'd worn to the conference opening night. All of it exactly as she'd packed it. She pulled out her phone. Looked at the article about Booker Whitlock again. 37-year-old tech mogul. Built his company from the ground up after his father died. Revolutionized data security. Net worth estimated at. She stopped reading at the number. It had too many zeros. What was she doing? Having coffee with someone like that? She was 35, living in a tiny apartment, trying to make it as a designer in an industry that chewed people up and spit them out. They had nothing in common. Except the way he'd looked at her. Like she mattered. Like he actually wanted to know her. Her phone buzzed. Text from Azalea, her best friend. "How was New York?" "Exhausting. I'll tell you about it tomorrow." "You okay?" Odessa looked at the suitcase. At the business card that had fallen out when she'd opened it. Booker Whitlock. CEO. With a personal cell number written on the back. "I think I just met someone." "What?" "Tell me everything immediately. Tomorrow. Coffee at Priceless. 10 a.m. Come at 11 and I'll fill you in. This better be good. It's definitely something." She put her phone down. Stared at the ceiling. Tried to sleep. But all she could think about was hazel eyes and a smile that felt real and the strange twist of fate that had put his suitcase in her hands. Tomorrow. Coffee. And maybe, just maybe, the start of something she hadn't seen coming. So a suitcase mix-up just brought together a struggling fashion designer and a billionaire tech mogul. She's exhausted, broke, and trying to keep her dreams alive. He's successful, lonely, and fascinated by the woman who didn't care about his money. Tomorrow morning. Coffee. And the start of something neither of them expected. Keep watching. This is just the beginning. Odessa changed her outfit 3 times before leaving for Priceless. Ridiculous. It was just coffee. With a billionaire. Who probably dated models and actresses and women who didn't buy their clothes at thrift stores. She settled on high-waisted jeans, a burnt orange blouse she designed herself, and her good boots. The ones without scuffs. Hair down in natural curls. Minimal makeup. If he didn't like the real her, better to know now. Priceless was busy when she arrived at exactly 10 a.m. The coffee shop on King Street was a Charleston institution. Exposed brick walls, local art, the smell of espresso and fresh pastries. Booker was already there. He sat at a corner table, laptop closed in front of him, watching the door. When he saw her, his face lit up in a way that made her stomach flip. He stood as she approached. Wore dark jeans again and a navy button-down with the sleeves rolled up. Casual. But she'd bet that shirt cost more than her rent. "You came," he said. "Did you think I wouldn't?" I worried you'd change your mind. Decide coffee with a stranger was a bad idea. It probably is a bad idea. He smiled. The best things usually are. They ordered, her a latte, him black coffee, and settled at the table. Morning light streamed through the windows. Charleston bustled outside. And inside this small coffee shop, Odessa Gaines sat across from a man who shouldn't have been interested in her at all. So, Booker said. Fashion designer. How did you know? Your suitcase. I may have glanced inside. Saw the sketches. They're incredible, by the way. Heat crept up her neck. You looked through my stuff? Just enough to confirm it was the wrong suitcase. But I couldn't help noticing. You're talented. Talented and broke. That's the fashion industry for you. You're trying to make it on your own? Not working for a big house. Can't get hired by a big house when you don't have connections. And I don't have connections. So you build them. Create your own brand. She laughed. Bitter. With what money? Fair point. He leaned back, studying her. Tell me about your designs. What makes them different? No one ever asked her that. No one ever cared. They're for real women, she said. Not sample-size models. I design clothes that fit bodies, that make women feel beautiful without conforming to some impossible standard. Clothes that work for life, for mothers dropping kids at school, for women heading to work, for nights out with friends. Affordable but quality. Real fashion for real people. That sounds revolutionary. That sounds impossible to break into. The industry wants. She stopped herself. Why was she dumping all this on him? Wants what? His eyes were intent. Actually listening. Wants the next trendy thing. Wants connections and money and polish. Wants people who went to Fit or Parsons. Not someone who taught herself from YouTube videos and library books. You taught yourself? My dad died when I was 30. Heart attack. He was only 57. Left Ma with nothing. I was in my first year of design school. Had to drop out to help support her. I'm sorry. She shrugged. Tried to act like it didn't still hurt. Life happens. You deal with it. My father died too, Booker said quietly. When I was 29. 8 years ago. Built the business right after. Like I had to prove something to him, even though he was gone. Their eyes met. Understanding passing between them without words. How'd he die? Odessa asked. Stroke. Came out of nowhere. He was healthy. Ran marathons. Then one day he just wasn't there anymore. I'm sorry. Me too. For both of us. They sat in silence for a moment. The coffee shop buzzed around them, but it felt like they were in their own bubble. So, Booker said finally. 37-year-old tech billionaire and 35-year-old struggling designer. We're quite the pair. That's one way to put it. What's another way? Two people who have absolutely nothing in common having coffee for no good reason. I can think of a good reason. Yeah. What's that? You're the first person in years who's talked to me like I'm just a person. Not a billionaire. Not a CEO. Just Booker. She took a sip of her latte. Maybe that's because I don't care about your money. I know. That's why I like you. The words hung between them. Simple. Honest. You don't even know me, Odessa said. I'd like to. If you'll let me. Why? Because last night, standing in that parking lot, for the first time in months, I felt like maybe my life could be about something other than meetings and deals and building an empire. You made me laugh. You made me feel normal. That's rare. Normal is overrated. Says someone who's never had too much of anything. She bristled. You think I want your money? No. God, no. That's not what I meant. He ran a hand through his hair. Frustrated with himself. I meant, you know what real struggle looks like. What it means to work for something. I grew up comfortable. Built a company that made me more money than I know what to do with. But I've never had to choose between bills. Never had to sacrifice dreams. You have. And that makes you more real than anyone I've met in years. Odessa didn't know what to say to that. Tell me about your mother, Booker said, changing the subject. You said you had to help support her? Ma remarried 3 years ago. To a good man, finally. Someone who treats her right. She's okay now. Happy. Works part-time at a bookstore because she loves books, not because she has to. That's good. That she's happy. Yeah. Took her a while after Dad. But she got there. What about you? Are you happy? The question caught her off guard. I don't know. I'm trying to be. Building something, even if it's slow. Even if it's hard. That's more honest than most people would admit. What about you? Are you happy? He considered this. I'm successful. I've built something impressive. But happy. He shook his head. I don't think I've been happy since before my father died. I've been driven. Focused. Ambitious. But happy. I'm not sure I remember what that feels like. That's sad. Yeah, it is. They talked for 2 hours. The coffee shop filled and emptied around them. They ordered more coffee. Shared a pastry. Talked about everything. Charleston, music, books, the ridiculous traffic on the Ravenel Bridge, favorite restaurants neither of them could afford when they were younger. Booker told her about building Whitlock Technologies from nothing. About the sleepless nights and failed prototypes and the moment everything clicked. Odessa told him about learning to sew from her grandmother. About the first dress she ever made, for her high school graduation, and how proud her father had been. At noon, Azalea texted, I'm outside. Tell me everything. Odessa looked up. My friend is here. I should probably go. Of course. Booker stood with her. Can I see you again? Is that a good idea? Probably not. But I'm going to ask anyway. She smiled despite herself. One more time. Dinner. Somewhere not fancy. I want to see if you can handle normal. Challenge accepted. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. They exchanged numbers. Real numbers this time, not just the ones on luggage tags. Outside, Azalea was waiting with a look on her face that said she wanted every single detail. But before Odessa could leave, Booker touched her arm. Light. Brief. Thank you, he said. For giving me a chance. For not writing me off because of the money. Thank you for seeing me. Not just my bank account or my lack of connections. Just me. I'll always see you, Odessa. That's a promise. She walked away feeling lighter than she had in months. Maybe years. And when she looked back, he was still standing there. Watching her. Smiling like she'd given him something precious. Maybe she had. So they survived coffee. 2 hours of real conversation. Two people who should have nothing in common finding everything to talk about. Both lost fathers young. Both built something from loss. Both lonely in different ways. Tomorrow night. Dinner. Somewhere not fancy. And Odessa's about to learn that falling for someone isn't about money or status. It's about who sees you when the world looks away. Stay with me. This story is just getting started. The restaurant Booker chose was perfect. Not fancy. Not trying too hard. Just a small Italian place off King Street with red checkered tablecloths and candles in wine bottles and the smell of garlic and tomatoes that made Odessa's mouth water. How'd you find this place? She asked as they settled into a corner booth. Asked my driver. Told him I wanted somewhere real. Somewhere I could take someone special without feeling like I had to perform. Your driver. Preston. He's also my business partner. And my best friend. And the only person who tells me when I'm being an idiot. Sounds like a good friend. The best. They ordered, her chicken parmesan, him lasagna, and shared a bottle of wine that probably cost more than Odessa wanted to think about. Tell me something you've never told anyone, Booker said suddenly. That's a bold second date question. Is this a second date? I don't know. What is this? He reached across the table. Took her hand. His fingers were warm. This is me trying to get to know the most interesting woman I've met in years. This is me hoping you'll give me a real chance despite the money and the company and all the complications that come with it. Odessa looked at their joined hands, at his hazel eyes that seemed to actually see her. I'm scared, she admitted. All the time. Scared I won't make it. Scared my designs aren't good enough. Scared I'll end up 40 and broke and wondering why I didn't just get a normal job like everyone told me to. That's not a never-told secret. That's just being human. Fine. You want a real secret? Sometimes I'm angry at my dad for dying. For leaving Ma and me. For not being here to see what I'm trying to build. And then I feel guilty for being angry because it wasn't his fault and I loved him and I miss him every single day. Booker squeezed her hand. I'm angry at my father too. For dying right when I needed him most. For not being here to see the company. For leaving me to figure everything out alone. Is that why you work so hard? To prove something to him? Maybe. Probably. He paused. No. Definitely. Everything I built thinking Dad would be proud of this. Dad would see this was worth it. Was it worth it? The question hung between them. I don't know anymore, Booker said quietly. I have money, success, a company that changed an industry. But I'm 37 years old and I eat alone most nights and I can't remember the last time I did something just because it made me happy. What would make you happy? This. Right now. Sitting here with you. Talking about real things. Not deals or meetings or the next acquisition. Just this. Their food arrived. They ate slowly. Talked more. Laughed more. Odessa told him about her best friend Azalea. About how they'd met in high school and Azalea had been the one to convince her to pursue design in the first place. Booker told her about Preston. About how they'd started the company in a garage with nothing but an idea and determination. Do you ever regret it? Odessa asked. Building something so big. Becoming someone everyone knows. Sometimes. The money's nice. The success is validating. But the privacy I gave up. The ability to just be normal. I miss that more than I expected. Is that why you're here with me? Because I'm normal. You're not normal. You're extraordinary. But yes, I'm here because you don't care about Whitlock Technologies or my net worth or any of the things most people care about when they meet me. You care about who I am. That's rare. Maybe you've been meeting the wrong people. Maybe I have. After dinner, they walked King Street. Charleston was beautiful at night, historic buildings lit up, tourists and locals mingling, street musicians on every corner. Booker took her hand. Natural. Easy. Like they'd been doing this for years instead of days. Can I ask you something? Odessa said. Anything. Why me? Really? You could have anyone. Models, actresses, other billionaires. Why a struggling designer with nothing to offer? He stopped walking. Turned to face her on the sidewalk. People flowed around them but it felt like they were alone. Because you offer everything that matters. You're real. You're honest. You work for your dreams even when it's hard. You loved your father enough to sacrifice your education for your mother. You create things that make people feel beautiful. You see me, not my bank account, not my company, just me. That's not nothing, Odessa. That's everything. She felt tears prick her eyes. I'm not used to people seeing me like that. Then they're all idiots. She laughed through the tears. You're very smooth, you know that? I'm really not. I'm nervous and I'm saying too much and I'm probably scaring you off. I'll continue the story from where it left off, maintaining all established facts and character consistency. But I don't care because being with you is the first thing that's felt right in 8 years. You're not scaring me off. No. No. She stepped closer. You're making me believe in something I stopped believing in a long time ago. What's that? That good things can happen. That life can surprise you. That maybe dreams aren't just for other people. He cupped her face with both hands. Gentle. Reverent. Can I kiss you? I thought you'd never ask. The kiss was soft at first. Testing. Then deeper. Real. The kind of kiss that changed things. When they pulled apart, Odessa was breathless. That was... She started. Yeah, he finished. They walked back to where his car was parked, the same black one from the airport night. But this time Preston was driving, and he gave Odessa a knowing smile when he saw their joined hands. This is Preston, Booker said. Preston, this is Odessa. The woman who accidentally stole my suitcase and changed my life. Preston extended his hand through the driver's window. 38 years I've known this man, and I've never seen him this happy. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Odessa laughed. I'm not doing anything special. That's where you're wrong, Preston said. Being yourself is the most special thing you could do. Booker drove Odessa home, not back to his hotel, back to her small apartment in North Charleston. He walked her to her door like a gentleman. When can I see you again? He asked. You're not sick of me yet. I don't think I could ever be sick of you. Tomorrow's Friday. I have to work on designs. Bills don't pay themselves. Can I see you this weekend? Saturday. She should have said no. Should have slowed this down. But standing there with him, feeling seen and valued and wanted for the first time in forever, she couldn't. Saturday. But something low-key. I want to see your real life, not your billionaire life. Deal. I'll pick you up at noon. Wear comfortable shoes. That's mysterious. Good. He kissed her again. Soft. Sweet. Full of promise. Then he was gone, and Odessa was alone in her apartment with a heart that felt too big for her chest. Inside, she pulled out her phone. Called Azalea. Tell me everything, Azalea demanded immediately. I think I'm falling for him. After 2 dates. After 2 dates. Is that crazy? Completely. But also kind of beautiful. Does he feel the same? I think so. He said I changed his life. Girl. This is either going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, or it's going to break your heart into a million pieces. I know. Are you scared? Terrified? But you're doing it anyway. Odessa thought about Booker's hands in hers. His eyes seeing straight through to her soul. The way he talked about his father like maybe they shared the same kind of grief. Yeah. I'm doing it anyway. Then I'm here for you. Whatever happens. Thanks, Z. That's what best friends are for. Now get some sleep. You sound exhausted. I am. But it's a good exhausted. After they hung up, Odessa lay in bed staring at the ceiling. 2 dates. 2 days. And her whole world felt different. She pulled out her sketchbook. Started drawing without thinking. A dress emerged. Flowing. Elegant but comfortable. The color of Booker's hazel eyes. She'd call it fate. Because that's what this felt like. Fate. Destiny. The universe finally deciding she deserved something good. Time passage. Next evening after coffee date, mid-late June 2024. Dinner date location. Small Italian restaurant off King Street with red checkered tablecloths, candles and wine bottles. Preston details. Age 38, born 1986. Booker's driver, business partner, and best friend for 38 years, knew him since childhood, tells Booker when he's being an idiot. Booker and Preston history. Started Whitlock Technologies together in a garage. First kiss happened after dinner while walking King Street. Relationship status, moving fast, both acknowledging feelings. Third date planned for Saturday. Odessa's best friend Azalea. They met in high school. Azalea convinced Odessa to pursue design. New Saturday date planned. Noon pickup, comfortable shoes required. Booker's real life, not billionaire life. So they kissed. Under the Charleston lights. And it felt like the beginning of everything. Odessa's falling fast for a man who sees her, really sees her, for the first time in her life. But falling in love across class lines? That's never simple. Saturday's coming. And Odessa's about to see what Booker's real world actually looks like. Keep watching. This story is about to get complicated. Saturday arrived with perfect Charleston weather. Sunny, low 80s, humidity manageable. Odessa changed outfits 4 times before settling on cut-off shorts, a white tank top, and her comfortable sneakers like Booker had suggested. Hair in a high ponytail. Sunglasses. Sunscreen. At exactly noon, his car pulled up. But this time, Booker was driving. No Preston. Just him in a plain gray t-shirt and jeans that actually looked worn in. Regular sunglasses, not designer ones. Hair slightly messy like he hadn't bothered styling it. You look different, Odessa said as she got in. Different good or different bad? Different real. I like it. He smiled. That's the goal. Today is about real Booker. Not CEO Booker. Where are we going? You'll see. They drove through Charleston, over the Ravenel Bridge with its stunning views of the harbor, and into Mount Pleasant. Past the tourist areas. Past the fancy neighborhoods. Until they pulled up to a community center in a working-class area Odessa recognized. A community center, she asked. Every Saturday for the past 5 years, I volunteer here. Teaching kids basic coding and computer skills. Most people don't know. I don't publicize it. I just do it. Odessa stared at him. You've been volunteering here for 5 years? My dad used to say money means nothing if you don't use it to help people. This is how I help. One kid at a time. They went inside. The place was bustling, kids everywhere, from elementary age to high school. And when they saw Booker, they lit up. Mr. Whitlock. Booker. You came. He was swarmed immediately. Kids hugging him, showing him projects, asking for help with code they'd been working on all week. And Booker? He was in his element. Patient. Kind. Explaining things in ways kids understood. Celebrating their victories. Encouraging them through frustrations. Odessa watched from the doorway, her heart doing something complicated in her chest. A woman in her 60s approached. You must be the Odessa we've heard about. You've heard about me? Booker mentioned he met someone special. I'm Diana. I run this place. How long has he been coming here? 5 years every Saturday unless he's traveling. Never misses. Never asks for recognition. Just shows up and changes kids' lives. Diana smiled. These kids. Half of them will be the first in their families to go to college. Because of him. Because he saw potential and invested time. Odessa felt tears prick her eyes. He never mentioned this. That's Booker. Does good quietly. Not for press. Not for tax breaks. Just because it's right. For the next 3 hours, Odessa watched Booker work with kids. Saw him explain algorithms to a 10-year-old girl who wanted to make video games. Helped a teenage boy debug his first website. Celebrated with a middle schooler who'd just completed her first coding course. And when a shy 8-year-old boy asked if Odessa could help him with something, she found herself sitting at a computer, working through a basic animation program, feeling more useful than she had in months. You're good with kids, Booker said during a break. So are you. Why didn't you tell me about this? Because I wanted you to like me for me. Not because I volunteer. Not because it makes me look good. Just Me. Booker. She took his hand. This is you. This matters. These kids matter. They do. More than any deal I've ever made. After the coding session ended, they helped Diana clean up. Then Booker drove them to a hole-in-the-wall burger joint that definitely wasn't on any tourist maps. Best burgers in Charleston, he said. Preston found this place years ago. We used to come here when we were broke and dreaming. They ordered burgers and fries and milkshakes. Sat in a booth with cracked vinyl and formica that had seen better days. Can I tell you something? Booker said. Always. I was nervous about today. About showing you this part of my life. Worried you'd think it was performative or that I was trying too hard to seem normal. Why would I think that? Because everyone does. They see the money and the company and they assume everything I do is calculated. Strategic. For optics. That's sad. Yeah, it is. But with you, I don't feel like I have to prove anything. I can just be. Odessa reached across the table, took both his hands. Thank you for today, for showing me who you really are, for trusting me with this. Thank you for giving me a chance. You know what I realized today? What? You're not just some billionaire who accidentally grabbed my suitcase. You're a good man who's trying to make a difference. Who remembers where he came from. Who uses his success to lift other people up. That's rare, Booker. That's special. I'm not special. I'm just trying to do what my dad would have wanted. Your dad would be so proud of you. His eyes got shiny. You think so? I know so. They ate their burgers. Talked about the kids. About coding and technology and how it could change lives. About dreams and second chances and the responsibility that comes with success. Can I ask you something serious? Booker said as they finished. Of course. Where do you see this going? Us. This thing between us. Odessa's heart hammered. I don't know. It's only been a few days. I know. But I feel like I've known you forever. Like my life before you was just waiting. For this. For you. That's a lot of pressure. I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm trying to be honest. I like you, Odessa. More than like. And I want to see where this goes. If you'll let me. I'm scared, she admitted. Our worlds are so different. What if this doesn't work? What if I can't fit into your life? What if? What if it does work? He interrupted gently. What if different doesn't matter? What if this is exactly what both of us need? She looked at his face. At the hope there. The vulnerability. Okay, she said. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Let's be honest with each other. Let's try. His smile could have lit up the whole restaurant. That's all I'm asking for. After burgers, they drove back to Charleston. Walked the Battery as the sun set over the harbor. Held hands. Talked about nothing and everything. Tell me about your designs, Booker said. Your real dream. Not just making it. But if you could have anything, what would it look like? A small boutique, Odessa said without hesitation. Here in Charleston. Where I design clothes for real women at prices they can afford. Where every woman who walks in feels beautiful. Where fashion isn't about exclusion but inclusion. Where a single mom can find a dress that makes her feel amazing without breaking the bank. That's beautiful. That's impossible. Why? Because it takes money. A lot of money. Storefront rent, inventory, materials, employees. I'd need at least 100,000 to start. And I don't have 100,000. I don't even have 10,000. What if you did? She stopped walking. Are you offering to give me money? No. God, no. I know better than that. But what if I could help you get funding? Connect you with investors who believe in what you're building. Booker. Not me. I won't invest. That would complicate things between us. But I know people. People who invest in small businesses. People who want to support entrepreneurs who actually have vision and heart. Let me make some introductions. The rest is up to you. Why would you do that? Because you're talented. Because your dream deserves a chance. Because I believe in you. Odessa felt overwhelmed. That's too much. It's just introductions. Networking. Isn't that how this whole industry works? But I don't want you to feel like you have to. I don't feel like I have to do anything. I want to. Because seeing you succeed would make me happier than any deal I've ever closed. But only if you want the help. Your call. She thought about it. About pride versus practicality. About dreams deferred versus dreams realized. Okay, she said finally. Introductions only. The rest is on me. Deal. They walked back to his car. He drove her home. Walked her to her door again. This was the best day I've had in years, he said. Me too. Can I see you tomorrow? I know it's fast. I know we should probably slow down. But I don't want to. I want to spend every possible moment getting to know you. Tomorrow's Sunday. I usually sketch in the morning, then have dinner with Ma and her husband. Sketch with me in the morning? I'll bring coffee. We can sit in a park and I'll work on emails while you draw. Parallel existence. She laughed. Parallel existence. Being together while doing our own thing. Comfortable silence. That's what real relationships are built on. You really thought this through. I have. I want this to work, Odessa. More than I've wanted anything in a long time. Okay. Tomorrow morning. But you have to meet my mother for dinner. He paled slightly. Meet your mother? Already. Scared. Terrified. But yes. Absolutely yes. She kissed him. Long, slow. Full of promise and possibility. Thank you for today, she whispered against his lips. For showing me the real you. For being more than I expected. Thank you for seeing me. The real me. Not the money. Just me. After he left, Odessa called Azalea. He volunteers with kids every Saturday, she said without preamble. Has for 5 years. Teaches them coding. Changes their lives. And he never tells anyone because he doesn't want credit. Oh girl. You're in deep, aren't you? So deep. Z, I think I'm falling in love with him. After a week? After a week. Is that crazy? Completely. But also, I think he's falling for you too. No man volunteers to meet your mother after a week unless he's serious. He's meeting Ma tomorrow. Tomorrow? Odessa, baby. This is moving so fast. I know. But it feels right. For the first time in forever, something feels right. Then I'm happy for you. Just be careful, okay? Billionaires live in a different world. Don't lose yourself trying to fit into his. He doesn't want me to fit into his world. He wants to exist in mine. Then he's a keeper. Don't let him go. After they hung up, Odessa lay in bed thinking about the day. About Booker with those kids. About the burger joint and the sunset and the way he looked at her like she was the answer to questions he'd been asking for years. Maybe Azalea was right. Maybe this was fast. But maybe fast was okay when it felt this right. Time passage, Saturday after dinner date, late June 2024, Booker's volunteer work, every Saturday for past 5 years at community center in Mount Pleasant working class area, teaches kids coding and computer skills, never publicizes it, started because father said, money means nothing if you don't use it to help people. Diana, age 60s, runs the community center, knows about Odessa Booker and Preston history, used to eat at hole-in-the-wall burger joint when they were broke and dreaming. Relationship progression, more than like, acknowledged by Booker, Odessa admitting she's falling for him, to Azalea, Meeting Odessa's mother plan for Sunday dinner. Odessa's dream details. Small boutique in Charleston for real women at affordable prices, needs $100,000 to start, doesn't have even $10,000 Booker's offer. Will introduce her to investors, not invest himself to avoid complications. Just networking. So Odessa saw the real Booker. Not the CEO. Not the billionaire. Just a man who volunteers with kids every Saturday. Who eats burgers at dive restaurants. Who wants to help her dreams come true without strings attached. And tomorrow, he's meeting her mother. After 1 week. Because when something feels this right, time doesn't matter. But Ma's about to have opinions. And meeting the parents always changes things. Stay tuned. This story is about to get real. Sunday morning arrived with clouds threatening rain. Booker showed up at 9 a.m. with 2 lattes and a box of pastries from Callie's Hot Little Biscuit. You didn't have to do all this, Odessa said, letting him into her apartment. It was the first time he'd been inside. She watched him take it in, the small space, the thrift store furniture, the designs pinned to every available wall surface. This is amazing, he said, walking to her makeshift design wall. Odessa, these are incredible. They're just sketches. They're more than sketches. They're art. They're vision. He turned to her. You need to let me set up those meetings with investors. One thing at a time. Today you're meeting my mother. That's enough stress. About that. He ran a hand through his hair. Nervous. What does your mother know about me? That you're a guy I met. That you're nice. That you grabbed my suitcase by accident. Does she know about the money? Does it matter? I don't know. Some parents, they worry. That their daughter is a gold digger. Or that I'm using her. Or. Ma's not like that. She'll care about whether you treat me right. Whether you make me happy. The rest doesn't matter to her. And do I make you happy? She set down her coffee. Walked to where he stood by her designs. Took his hands. You make me happier than I've been in years. You make me feel seen. Valued. Like maybe my dreams aren't just silly fantasies. Yes, Booker. You make me very happy. He kissed her softly. Good. That's all I want to do. They spent the morning at Waterfront Park. Odessa sketched while Booker worked on his laptop. Tourists passed by. The pineapple fountain splashed in the background. And for a few hours, they existed in their own bubble. What are you working on? Odessa asked, looking up from a design. Reviewing a potential acquisition. Tech startup in Austin that's doing interesting things with AI. Do you ever stop working? Not really. This is my life. Has been since I started the company. That's sad, Booker. I know. But it's also purpose. After Dad died, work was all I had. It gave me direction. Focus. Kept me from falling apart. And now. He looked at her. Now I'm realizing there might be more to life than work. That maybe I've been using the company as an excuse to avoid actually living. That's deep for a Sunday morning. You make me think deep thoughts. They packed up at noon. Drove to Odessa's mother's house in West Ashley, a small ranch-style home with a neat yard and flowers everywhere. She loves gardening, Odessa explained as they pulled up. After Dad died, it became her therapy. Growing things. Creating life. Booker looked nervous. Actually nervous. This billionaire CEO who commanded boardrooms and closed million-dollar deals was scared to meet her mother. It's going to be fine, Odessa assured him. What if she hates me? She won't hate you. But what if she does? Then I'll like you enough for both of us. Before he could respond, the front door opened. Grace Gaines stood there, 64 years old, short, round, with Odessa's same dark eyes and a smile that could warm a room. Behind her was Marcus, her husband of 3 years, tall and quiet with kind eyes. Baby girl, Grace called, arms already open. Odessa hugged her mother tight. Then turned to Booker. "Ma, this is Booker. Booker, this is my mother Grace and her husband Marcus." Grace studied Booker with the intensity only mothers possess. "So you're the suitcase man?" "Yes, ma'am. I'm the suitcase man. Come inside. Let me feed you. You're too skinny." Booker shot Odessa a look that said, "Is she serious?" Odessa just smiled. Inside, the house smelled like roast chicken and collard greens and cornbread, the kind of Sunday dinner Odessa had grown up with. "Ma, you didn't have to go to all this trouble," Odessa said. "Hush. It's not trouble. It's what you do when your daughter brings a man home." Grace pointed at the dining table. "Sit. Both of you. Marcus, help me in the kitchen." They sat. Alone in the dining room. "Your mother is exactly like I pictured," Booker whispered. "Terrifying." "Wonderful." Grace and Marcus returned with food, platters of it. Chicken, greens, mac and cheese, cornbread, sweet tea. "This looks amazing," Booker said sincerely. "It's nothing fancy," Grace said, sitting down. "Just good food. Real food. I hope you're not one of those people who only eats salads and smoothies." "Ma." Odessa protested. "It's okay," Booker said, laughing. "Mrs. Gaines, I grew up on food like this. My mother wasn't much of a cook, but my grandmother made Sunday dinners that looked exactly like this. I haven't had a meal like this in years." Grace's expression softened. "Your grandmother taught you to appreciate good cooking?" "She taught me to appreciate family, and tradition, and the importance of sitting down together for a meal." They ate, talked. Grace asked questions, not about money or business, but about family and values and what Booker wanted from life. "My husband died when Odessa was 30, Grace said over dessert. Peach cobbler that made Booker close his eyes in happiness. "Heart attack. Left us with nothing but bills and memories." "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Gaines. It was hard. Hardest thing I've ever been through. But we survived. Odessa took care of me. Gave up her dreams for a while to make sure I was okay. That's the kind of daughter I raised." "Ma, don't. Let me finish, baby." Grace turned to Booker. "I'm telling you this so you know what kind of woman you're sitting across from. She's strong. She's loyal. She's been through hell and came out the other side still believing in good things. Still dreaming. Still creating beauty in a world that tried to break her." "I know," Booker said quietly. "I see all of that. It's why I can't stop thinking about her." "Good. Because if you hurt her, I'll come after you. I don't care how much money you have or how important your company is. You hurt my daughter, you answer to me." "Ma." Odessa was mortified. But Booker smiled. "Mrs. Gaines, I promise you I have no intention of hurting Odessa. She's the best thing that's happened to me in years. Maybe ever. And I'm going to do everything I can to make her happy." "See that you do." Marcus, who'd been quiet most of the meal, finally spoke. "Grace, stop terrorizing the man. He's clearly smitten with our girl. I just need to make sure." "You made sure. Now let them be young and happy." After dinner, Marcus pulled Booker aside while Grace and Odessa cleaned up in the kitchen. "Don't mind Grace," Marcus said. "She's protective. Lost one love. Scared to see her daughter lose something good. I understand. My mother was the same way before she passed." "Your mother died too?" 3 years ago. Cancer. It was fast." "I'm sorry." "Thank you." Booker paused. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course. How did you convince Grace to give you a chance? After she lost Odessa's father?" Marcus smiled. "I didn't convince her of anything. I just showed up. Consistently. Honestly. I didn't try to replace her husband. Didn't try to be something I wasn't. I just loved her. Every day. In small ways. Eventually she let me in. That's what I'm trying to do with Odessa. Then you're on the right path. Just remember, women like Grace and Odessa, they've been hurt. They've lost people they loved. They're careful with their hearts because they know how bad it hurts when things fall apart. Your job isn't to promise you'll never hurt her. Your job is to show up every day and prove you're worth the risk. In the kitchen, Grace was grilling Odessa. "He's rich," she said bluntly. "I know, Ma. Very rich. I know. You know what happens when rich men date regular women? Ma, please. They get bored. They move on. They find someone more exciting. Someone from their world. Booker's not like that." "How do you know? You've known him a week." "I just know. The way you knew about Marcus." That stopped Grace. She studied her daughter. "You really like him?" "I more than like him, Ma. I think I'm falling in love with him." After a week. After a week. Grace sighed, pulled Odessa into a hug. "Then I hope he deserves you. Because you deserve everything good this world has to offer." "He's good, Ma. I promise." When they rejoined the men, Booker and Marcus were talking about gardening of all things. "Your stepfather invited me to help with the garden next weekend," Booker told Odessa. "You don't have to. I want to. If that's okay." Grace smiled. A real smile. "He's welcome, anytime." They left an hour later, Odessa carrying containers of leftovers her mother had insisted on packing. In the car, Booker let out a long breath. "That was intense. I'm sorry. Ma's very protective." "Don't apologize. She loves you. She wants to make sure I'm good enough for you." "And are you good enough for me?" He looked at her seriously. "I'm going to try to be. Every single day. That's all I can promise." "That's enough." He drove her home. Walked her to her door. Kissed her goodnight with a tenderness that made her chest ache. "Thank you for today," he said. "For letting me into your life. Your family. Your world. Thank you for wanting in." After he left, Odessa called Azalea. "Ma liked him," she said. "I mean, she threatened him and interrogated him and basically gave him the 3rd degree. But she liked him. That's big." "I know. Z, this is really happening. I'm really falling for him." "Then fall, girl. Fall hard. You deserve this. You deserve someone who shows up. Who meets your mother. Who wants to be part of your life, not just take you into his." "I'm scared." "I know. But do it anyway. Be scared and fall anyway. Because I think this one might be worth it." That night, Odessa sketched until her hand cramped. Drew dress after dress. Each one inspired by the feeling building in her chest. Hope. That's what she was feeling. For the first time in years, actual hope that maybe good things could happen. That maybe love wasn't just for other people. That maybe she deserved this. Her phone buzzed. "Booker, thank you for today. Your mother is wonderful. Marcus is kind. And you are the most amazing woman I've ever met. Sweet dreams, Odessa." She smiled. Texted back. "Sweet dreams, Booker. Thank you for being you." She fell asleep thinking about hazel eyes and Sunday dinners and the way he'd looked at her mother like he understood what it meant to lose someone you loved. 1 week. That's all it had been. But it felt like the beginning of everything. Changed. New facts added in Part 5. Time passage. Sunday after Saturday Volunteer Day, late June 2024, Booker's mother. Died 3 years ago, 2021, from cancer. It was fast. Booker's grandmother. Wasn't great cook, but his grandmother made Sunday dinners, taught him about family and tradition. Grace and Marcus's home. Small ranch style in West Ashley, neat yard, flowers everywhere. Grace loves gardening, therapy after husband's death. Sunday dinner menu, roast chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread, sweet tea, peach cobbler. For dessert, Marcus's advice to Booker, Show up consistently and honestly, don't try to replace what was lost. Love her every day in small ways. Grace's concerns. Worried rich men get bored with regular women relationship progression. Odessa admitting to Grace she's falling in love. Booker promising to try to be good enough every day. Invited to help with garden next weekend. Morning location, Waterfront Park. By Pineapple Fountain. The family has met. Grace gave Booker the mother test, and he passed. Not because he's rich or successful, but because he showed up. Because he understood loss. Because he looked at Odessa like she hung the moon. 1 week in and they're both falling. Fast. Hard. Completely. But falling in love is the easy part. Staying in love when their worlds are so different. That's the real test. And it's coming. Don't go anywhere. This story is about to shift. I'll continue with the remaining chapters. Would you like me to proceed? I'll continue with shorter chapters while maintaining all established facts. 2 weeks passed. 2 perfect weeks. They fell into a rhythm. Dinners after Odessa's design work, morning coffees before Booker's meetings, stolen hours between obligations. But reality had a way of intruding. It started with a text. Mid-July, a Wednesday afternoon. Booker, gala tonight. Tech industry thing. Black tie. Come with me. Odessa stared at her phone. A gala. Black tie. His world. Her. I don't have anything to wear to something like that. Booker, I'll send a stylist. My treat. Her. That's too much. Booker, please? I want you there. By my side. She should have said no. But the pleading in his text got her. Her. Okay. But this is weird. Booker, I know. Thank you. 3 hours later, a stylist arrived at her apartment with racks of dresses. Mr. Whitlock wants you to feel beautiful, the woman said. Professional. Efficient. Pick anything you like. The dresses were stunning. And expensive. Odessa could see the designer labels, Valentino, Dior, Carolina Herrera. She chose the simplest one. Black. Elegant. Nothing flashy. When Booker picked her up at 7, his face lit up. You're stunning. I feel like I'm playing dress up. You look like you belong. But at the gala, Odessa realized she didn't belong. Not even close. The venue was the Charleston Place Hotel ballroom. Chandeliers. Ice sculptures. Women dripping in diamonds. Men in tuxedos discussing deals worth millions. Booker introduced her to everyone. But Odessa saw the looks, the assessment, the judgment, the question in their eyes. Who is she? This is Odessa Gaines, Booker would say. She's a fashion designer. How interesting, they'd respond. Translation. How cute. A hobby. One woman, blonde, 40s, dripping in Cartier, pulled Booker aside while Odessa stood at the bar. Really, Booker? A designer. Her voice carried. What happened to that venture capitalist you were seeing? Rebecca. Odessa's stomach dropped. Booker's jaw tightened. Rebecca and I broke up 2 years ago, Monica. And Odessa is incredibly talented. I'm sure she is. Monica's smile was poisonous. But darling, does she even understand your world? Odessa didn't wait to hear more. She walked to the bathroom. Locked herself in a stall. Breathed. She didn't belong here. These people with their money and their judgment and their assumptions. When she came out, Booker was waiting. I'm sorry, he said immediately. Monica's a what? A truth teller. Odessa. She's right, isn't she? I don't understand your world. I'm a struggling designer who lives in North Charleston and shops at thrift stores. What am I doing here? You're here because I want you here. Because you matter to me. I don't fit, Booker. I don't care. But I do. She felt tears coming. I care that everyone in this room is looking at me like I'm a gold digger. Like I'm using you. Like I don't deserve to be here. Anyone who thinks that is an idiot. Or they're realistic. They left early. Drove in silence. When they reached her apartment, Odessa couldn't look at him. "I'm not good at this," she said quietly. "At being your girlfriend in that world. I don't know how to talk to those people. I don't know the right things to say or wear or. I don't need you to be good at that. I need you to be you." But what if that's not enough? The question hung between them. "It's enough for me," Booker said finally. "It's more than enough. But is it enough for your life?" He didn't answer. Couldn't answer. "I need to think," Odessa said, "about whether I can do this. Be with you. In your world. Odessa, please. Just give me a few days." She got out of the car. Went inside. Didn't look back. And for the first time since the airport, she wondered if fate had made a mistake. Time, mid-July 2024, 2 weeks after meeting Grace Rebecca, Booker's ex-girlfriend from 2 years ago, 2022, venture capitalist Monica. Woman at gala, blonde, 40s, wears Cartier, judgmental gala. Tech industry event at Charleston Place Hotel ballroom. First major conflict. Odessa feeling out of place in Booker's world, requests space to think relationship status. First real fight. Temporary separation. And there it is. The first crack. Odessa walked into Booker's world and realized she doesn't fit. The looks. The judgment. The ex-girlfriend. Reality hit hard. Now she's pulling back, asking for space, wondering if love is enough when everything else feels impossible. Booker's world is about to meet Odessa's reality. And one of them has to bend. 3 days. Odessa avoided Booker's calls for 3 days. She needed space. Time. Clarity. But on day 4, he showed up at her apartment. Didn't call first. Just knocked. She opened the door. He looked terrible. Exhausted, hair messy, circles under his eyes. "I can't do this," he said. "This space thing. I need to talk to you. Booker, please. Just hear me out." She let him in. He paced her tiny living room. "You're right. That world is toxic. Those people are judgmental and shallow and everything I hate about having money." "Then why go?" "Because it's part of my job. Networking. Deals. Maintaining relationships." He stopped pacing. "But you know what? I don't care. I'll stop going. I'll skip every gala, every event, every pretentious dinner. If it means keeping you, I'll walk away from all of it." "You can't do that. Watch me." "Booker, that's not realistic. That's your life. Your business. Then help me figure out how to do both. How to have you and have the business. Because losing you? That's not an option." Odessa sat on her couch. "I don't know if I can be what you need." "You're already what I need. But your world. Screw my world. I'll build a new one. With you in it." "That's romantic. But naive." He sat beside her. Took her hands. "Then teach me. Show me how to make this work. Because I'm not giving up on us. Not after 3 weeks. Not after finding someone who makes me feel alive for the first time in 8 years." She looked at their joined hands. "What about Rebecca? What about her? Were you in love with her?" "I thought I was. But looking back, I was in love with the idea of her. Someone who fit my world. Who understood deals and business. But we never talked about real things. She never saw me. Not like you do. What if I can't handle your world? What if you don't have to? What if we create our own world? One where you design and I run my company and we meet in the middle." "The middle of what?" "Of everything. Love. Life. Dreams. All of it." Odessa felt tears coming. "I'm scared, Booker." "Me too. But I'm more scared of losing you." She kissed him. Long, deep. Like she was memorizing him. "No more galas," she said. Not unless I agree first. And no more stylists. I wear what I want. Deal. And you have to understand, I'm not going to fit perfectly into your life. I'm going to be uncomfortable sometimes. Say the wrong things. Not know the right people. Good. Uncomfortable means real. And real is all I want. This is going to be hard. I know. We're going to fight. Probably. And I might hate your friends. He laughed. I already hate most of them. She pulled him close. Okay. We'll try. But we do this honestly. No pretending. No hiding who we are. No pretending, he agreed. Just us. Figuring it out. They spent the rest of the day in her apartment. Talking. Planning. Building a foundation. And when he left that night, Odessa felt lighter. Like maybe they could make this work. Different worlds. Same heart. Time, late July 2024, 4 days after gala resolution. Booker shows up, they agree to build their own world, no more mandatory galas new rule. Odessa decides when to attend events, wears what she wants Booker's admission. Thought he loved Rebecca but never had real connection relationship status. Back together, stronger foundation, honest about challenges. They survived the first real fight. Booker chose Odessa over his world. Now they're building something new. Not his life, not hers, but theirs. Together. But choosing each other is just the beginning. Making it work. That's the real challenge. And it's coming faster than either of them expects. 1 week later, Booker made good on his promise. I set up meetings, he told Odessa over coffee. 3 investors. All interested in small business ventures. All women who care about supporting female entrepreneurs. Booker. Just meetings. You pitch your boutique idea. They decide. I'm not involved beyond the introduction. Her heart hammered. When? Next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Back to back. Are you ready? No. Good. The best things happen when we're not ready. Odessa spent the week preparing. Created a business plan. Sketched designs. Calculated costs. Projected revenue. Azalea helped, bringing coffee and snacks and encouragement. You've got this, Azalea said, reviewing the pitch. This is solid. Professional. Real. What if they say no? Then you find other investors. But I don't think they will. This is good, Dessa. Really good. Tuesday came. The first investor was Catherine Chen, 50, sharp, founder of 3 successful boutiques in Atlanta. Odessa pitched in a conference room downtown. Hands shaking. Voice steady. Catherine listened. Asked questions. Took notes. I like it, she said finally. Real fashion for real women at accessible prices. That's a gap in the market. But Charleston is competitive. Why here? Because Charleston women deserve options. Because tourists want local designers. Because I know this city. I understand the market. Investment needed? 100,000. 50 for storefront and inventory. 30 for marketing. 20 for cushion. Return timeline? 3 years to profitability. 5 years to expansion. Catherine smiled. I'll think about it. You'll hear from me in a week. Wednesday. Investor 2, James Martinez. 45. Venture capitalist interested in diverse founders. Similar pitch. Different questions. Same nervous energy. You're self-taught? James asked. Yes. No formal education? My father died. I had to drop out. And you think that's not a liability? Odessa lifted her chin. I think it's an asset. I learned by doing. By failing. By trying again. That's more valuable than any degree. James nodded. I agree. I'll be in touch. Thursday. Investor 3, Patricia Odom. 62. Retired fashion executive. Warm smile. Sharp eyes. Tell me why this matters, Patricia said. Not the business. The mission. Odessa took a breath. Because fashion shouldn't be exclusionary. Because every woman deserves to feel beautiful. Because the industry tells us we're not enough, not thin enough, not rich enough, not fashionable enough. I want to change that. One dress at a time. Patricia's eyes got shiny. That's why I got into fashion 40 years ago. Then the industry broke that dream. Made it about profit over people. I won't do that. How can you be sure? Because I remember what it's like to not afford the clothes. To feel invisible. To be told my dreams don't matter. I won't do that to someone else. Patricia stood. Extended her hand. I'm in. 50,000. Let's talk terms. Odessa almost cried. Really, really, you've got the vision, the heart, the talent. That's what matters. She called Booker immediately after. I got one. Patricia owed him. 50,000. His joy came through the phone. I knew it. I knew someone would see what I see. Thank you. For the introduction. For believing in me. Always. That night, Booker took her to dinner. Not fancy. The burger place. 50,000 is a start, he said. You need 50 more. I know. I'll keep pitching. Find other investors. Or. He paused. You take a small business loan for the rest. Patricia's investment shows proof of concept. Banks will consider it. Banks scare me. Everything worth doing is scary. She smiled. When did you get so wise? When I met a woman who taught me that dreams matter more than safety. 2 weeks later, Catherine Chen called. I'm in for 30,000. 1 week after that, James Martinez emailed. 20,000. Let's make this happen. Odessa stood in her apartment, staring at the numbers. Patricia, $50,000 Catherine, $30,000 James, $20,000 total, $100,000. She had it. She had the money to start her dream. She called Booker, crying. I did it. I actually did it. You did. All you. This is your dream, Odessa. You made it happen. When do I start? Whenever you're ready. She thought about storefronts and inventory and designs and real women feeling beautiful. I'm ready. I'm so ready. Time, early mid-August 2024 investor meetings. 3 investors over 3 days. Catherine Chen, age 50, Atlanta boutique founder, invested $30,000. James Martinez, age 45, venture capitalist, invested $20,000. Patricia Odom, age 62, retired fashion exec, invested $50,000, first to commit. Total investment, $100,000. Secured Odessa's business. Fully funded, ready to start. Timeline, about 2 months since airport meeting. Dreams funded. $100,000. 3 investors who believe in her vision. Odessa Gaines is about to open her boutique. But starting a business while falling in love? That's a recipe for complications. Success changes things. Money changes things. And Odessa's about to learn that having everything you want doesn't mean keeping it is easy. September arrived with chaos. Odessa found a storefront on King Street. Small. Perfect. Between a bookstore and a coffee shop. Rent, $3,500 monthly. Manageable with investor money. She signed the lease with shaking hands. This is real, she told Azalea. This is actually happening. You're doing it, girl. Living the dream. But dreams were exhausting. Odessa worked 16-hour days. Designing. Sourcing fabric. Finding manufacturers. Building a website. Creating social media. Hiring a part-time assistant. Booker helped when he could, moving furniture, hanging racks, building shelves. But he was busy too. Major deal in the works. flying to Austin twice. Conference calls late into the night. They saw each other less. Quick dinners. Rushed phone calls. Stolen kisses between obligations. "I miss you," Odessa said one night in mid-September. They were in her apartment. Both exhausted. Both stressed. "I miss you too. This is temporary. Once your boutique opens and my deal closes, things will calm down." "Will they though? Is this just what our lives are now?" He didn't answer. The boutique was supposed to open October 1st. But delays happened, fabric shipments late, permits taking forever, construction running behind. Opening pushed to October 15th. Then October 22nd. Odessa felt like she was drowning. "I can't do this," she told Azalea one day. "I can't run a business and maintain a relationship and sleep and eat and function like a human." "So what are you going to do?" "I don't know." That night, Booker came over at midnight. Let himself in with the key she'd given him. She was at her kitchen table, surrounded by fabric samples and sketches and invoices. "You need to sleep," he said. "I need to finish this." "Odessa, don't. Please don't tell me what I need. You're not here enough to know what I need." The words came out harsh. Mean. Booker stepped back. "That's not fair. Isn't it? You're always working. Always traveling. Always busy with your empire while I'm here trying to build mine from nothing. I'm supporting you. By being absent. By giving you space to build your dream." They stared at each other. First real fight since the gala. "I'm sorry," Odessa said quietly. "I'm exhausted and stressed and taking it out on you." "I'm sorry too. For not being here enough. For thinking you could do this alone." He sat beside her. Started organizing fabric samples. "What are you doing?" "Helping. Like I should have been doing all along." They worked until 3 a.m. Side by side. Not talking much. Just existing together. And when they finally crawled into bed, Odessa realized something. Love wasn't just romance and passion. It was showing up at midnight. Working through exhaustion. Being present even when it was hard. Time, September 2024. Boutique location, King Street, between bookstore and coffee shop. Rent, $3,500 monthly. Opening date, originally October 1st, delayed to October 15th, then October 22nd. Conflict. Both working long hours, seeing each other less, tension building. Booker's work. Major Austin deal, traveling frequently. Odessa hired, part-time assistant, unnamed. Key given, Odessa gave Booker apartment key. Building dreams costs more than money. It costs time and energy and relationship bandwidth. Odessa and Booker are learning that love during chaos requires showing up even when exhausted. But they're trying. Fighting through it. Working side by side at 3 a.m. The boutique opens soon. And everything's about to change. October 22nd arrived with perfect fall weather. The boutique, named Odessa after much debate with Azalea, was ready. Racks filled with designs. Dressing rooms painted soft blue. Lighting warm and flattering. A sign outside, "Fashion for real women." Odessa stood inside at 6 a.m., heart pounding. "It's beautiful," Booker said behind her. She turned. He'd brought coffee. And flowers. And Preston. Preston wanted to see, Booker explained. Preston grinned. Been hearing about this for months. Had to witness history. "It's just a small boutique." "It's your dream," Preston corrected. "That's not small." The grand opening started at 10. Odessa had advertised on social media, local blogs, the Charleston city paper. She expected maybe 20 people. 50 showed up in the first hour. Grace was there with Marcus. Azalea brought friends. Local fashion bloggers. Curious shoppers. Women of all sizes, ages, backgrounds. And they loved it. "These prices are amazing," one woman said, holding a dress Odessa designed. "This fits my actual body," another exclaimed from a dressing room. Finally! Real clothes for real women. Odessa worked the floor, helping customers, answering questions, ringing up sales. Booker stayed in the background, watching, proud. At 2 p.m., a woman approached him. "You're Booker Whitlock." "I am." "And you're dating Odessa?" "I am." That's really something. A billionaire and a small business owner. Booker smiled. She's not just a small business owner. She's an artist. And she's changing how women see themselves. That's worth more than any company I've built. The woman blinked. "You really believe that?" "Completely." By closing time, 8 p.m., Odessa had sold 40 pieces. Made $12,000. She collapsed on the counter after locking the door. "We did it," she whispered. Booker, Preston, Azalea, Grace, and Marcus stood around her. "You did it," Grace corrected. "All you, baby. Not all me. All of us." They celebrated at a nearby restaurant. Cheap pizza and expensive champagne, a perfect metaphor for Odessa's life now. "What's next?" Preston asked. "Survive," Odessa laughed. "Keep the momentum going. Build a customer base. Maybe expand the line." "You'll do more than survive," Booker said. "You'll thrive." Later, alone in her apartment, Odessa and Booker lay in bed exhausted. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" "For believing in me. For the investor introductions. For showing up every day even when I was impossible." "You were never impossible. Just focused. Determined. Building something that matters." "I love you," she said suddenly. First time she'd said it out loud. Booker went still. "What?" "I love you. I've been falling for months but I was scared to say it. But after today, after watching you believe in me even when I didn't believe in myself, I love you, Booker Whitlock." He kissed her. Deep. Desperate. Happy. "I love you too." Have for weeks. Maybe since the parking lot that first night. "You're everything I didn't know I needed. We're really doing this. We're really doing this. It's going to be complicated. I know. Your world. My world. They're so different. Then we build a new world. Together. Like we said." She curled into him. Together. For the first time in months, everything felt right. Time, October 22nd, 2024. Boutique name, Odessa Grand Opening. 50+ people attended, sold 40 pieces, made $12,000. First day tagline, fashion for real women, first, I love you. Both said it October 22nd evening after opening. Relationship status. Officially in love, committed, building life together. People at opening. Grace, Marcus, Azalea and friends. Preston, Booker, fashion bloggers, shoppers. The boutique opened. A success. Odessa's dream is real. And she finally said it, I love you. 4.5 months after a suitcase mix-up brought them together, they're all in. Building a life. Creating their world. But love is about to face its biggest test yet. Because happy endings aren't the end. They're just the beginning of the real work. 3 weeks later, mid-November, everything was perfect. The boutique was thriving. Odessa hired 2 more part-time employees. Orders coming in online. Local press writing features. Booker's Austin deal closed. Massive success. Whitlock Technologies expanding. They celebrated together. Finally had time to breathe. Let's go somewhere, Booker said one Saturday morning. Where? You'll see. He drove them to Folly Beach. Off-season. Quiet. Just waves and sand and seagulls. They walked barefoot along the water. I've been thinking, Booker said. About us. About the future. About what I want my life to look like. And I want it to look like you. Every day. Every morning. Every night. He stopped walking. Turned to face her. Odessa's heart hammered. 5 months ago, I grabbed the wrong suitcase, Booker said. Best mistake I ever made. You walked into my life exhausted and guarded and real. You didn't care about my money. You saw me. Just me. And you made me remember what it feels like to be human. Booker. He dropped to one knee. Odessa gasped. I'm 37 years old. I've built an empire. Made more money than I know what to do with. Accomplished everything I thought mattered. But none of it meant anything until I met you. He pulled out a ring. Simple. Elegant. A single stone. Odessa Gaines. Will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life showing up for you? Supporting your dreams? Building a world where we both fit? I promise to never make you feel less than. To celebrate your success. To love you through the chaos and the calm. To be your partner in everything. Say yes. Please say yes. Tears streamed down Odessa's face. Yes. God, yes. He slid the ring on her finger. Stood. Kissed her like his life depended on it. I love you, he said. I love you too. So much. They stood on that beach, waves crashing, sun setting, and Odessa thought about fate. About a suitcase mix-up that changed everything. About a billionaire who saw her. About dreams coming true when you least expect it. When? She asked. When what? When do you want to get married? He smiled. Whenever you're ready. Tomorrow. Next year. I don't care. I just want forever with you. Spring, she decided. Next spring. Small wedding. Just family and close friends. Perfect. They called their people. Grace cried, Marcus congratulated them, Preston whooped with joy, Azalea screamed so loud Booker pulled the phone away from his ear. That night, they lay in bed in Booker's penthouse. Odessa had been staying there more and more. Do you think your dad would have liked me? Odessa asked. He would have loved you. Would have seen exactly what I see. Strength, talent, heart. He would have told me not to let you go. My dad would have liked you too. Would have appreciated that you work hard. That you honor your father's memory. That you treat me like I matter. You do matter. More than anything. We're really doing this. Getting married. We're really doing this. Your world is going to have opinions. Let them. This is our life. Our choice. Our love. She kissed him. Our love. I like the sound of that. Time, mid-November 2024, 5 months after meeting, proposal location, Folly Beach, off-season, during Sunset Ring, simple, elegant, single-stone engagement, Odessa said yes wedding plans, spring 2025, small wedding, family and close friends only boutique status, thriving, 2 new part-time employees, online orders, local press features Booker's Austin deal, closed successfully, company expanding living situation, Odessa staying at Booker's penthouse more frequently. 5 months. That's all it took. From a suitcase mix-up to forever. Booker proposed on Folly Beach and Odessa said yes. They're engaged. Planning a spring wedding. Building a life together. 2 different worlds becoming one. And sometimes, just sometimes, fate gets it exactly right. So there you have it. Odessa Gaines and Booker Whitlock. A fashion designer and a billionaire. A suitcase mix-up and a love story. From exhausted strangers in an airport to engaged partners building a life together. 5 months that changed everything. She got her boutique. He got his person. They both got something they didn't know they needed, each other. Real love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. Believing in each other. Fighting through the hard parts. Choosing each other every single day. Will their marriage be easy? Probably not. Will they fight about his world and her world and how to blend them? Definitely. But will they make it work? Absolutely. Because some love stories aren't about finding someone perfect. They're about finding someone real. Someone who sees you. Someone who shows up at midnight and helps organize fabric samples and proposes on a quiet beach because they can't imagine life without you. That's what Odessa and Booker found. In the chaos of identical suitcases and baggage carousels and the beautiful mess of falling for someone unexpected. Sometimes the best things in life happen by accident. Sometimes fate knows exactly what it's doing. They celebrated at a nearby restaurant. Cheap pizza and expensive champagne, a perfect metaphor for Odessa's life now. What's next? Preston asked. Survive, Odessa laughed. Keep the momentum going. Build a customer base. Maybe expand the line. You'll do more than survive, Booker said. You'll thrive. Later, alone in her apartment, Odessa and Booker lay in bed exhausted. Thank you, she said. For what? For believing in me. For the investor introductions. For showing up every day even when I was impossible. You were never impossible. Just focused. Determined. Building something that matters. I love you, she said suddenly. First time she'd said it out loud. Booker went still. What? I love you. I've been falling for months but I was scared to say it. But after today, after watching you believe in me even when I didn't believe in myself, I love you, Booker Whitlock. He kissed her. Deep. Desperate. Happy. I love you too. Have for weeks. Maybe since the parking lot that first night. You're everything I didn't know I needed. We're really doing this. We're really doing this. It's going to be complicated. I know. Your world. My world. They're so different. Then we build a new world. Together. Like we said. She curled into him. Together. For the first time in months, everything felt right. Time, October 22nd, 2024. Boutique name, Odessa grand opening. 50+ people attended, sold 40 pieces, made $12,000 first day tagline, fashion for real women, first, I love you. Both said it October 22nd evening after opening relationship status. Officially in love, committed, building life together people at opening. Grace, Marcus, Azalea and friends, Preston, Booker, fashion bloggers, shoppers. The boutique opened. A success. Odessa's dream is real. And she finally said it, I love you. 4.5 months after a suitcase mix-up brought them together, they're all in. Building a life. Creating their world. But love is about to face its biggest test yet. Because happy endings aren't the end. They're just the beginning of the real work. 3 weeks later, mid-November, everything was perfect. The boutique was thriving. Odessa hired 2 more part-time employees. Orders coming in online. Local press writing features. Booker's Austin deal closed. Massive success. Whitlock Technologies expanding. They celebrated together. Finally had time to breathe. Let's go somewhere, Booker said one Saturday morning. Where? You'll see. He drove them to Folly Beach. Off-season. Quiet. Just waves and sand and seagulls. They walked barefoot along the water. I've been thinking, Booker said. About us. About the future. About what I want my life to look like. And I want it to look like you. Every day. Every morning. Every night. He stopped walking. Turned to face her. Odessa's heart hammered. 5 months ago, I grabbed the wrong suitcase, Booker said. Best mistake I ever made. You walked into my life exhausted and guarded and real. You didn't care about my money. You saw me. Just me. And you made me remember what it feels like to be human. Booker. He dropped to one knee. Odessa gasped. I'm 37 years old. I've built an empire. Made more money than I know what to do with. Accomplished everything I thought mattered. But none of it meant anything until I met you. He pulled out a ring. Simple. Elegant. A single stone. Odessa Gaines. Will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life showing up for you? Supporting your dreams? Building a world where we both fit? I promise to never make you feel less than. To celebrate your success. To love you through the chaos and the calm. To be your partner in everything. Say yes. Please say yes. Tears streamed down Odessa's face. Yes. God, yes. He slid the ring on her finger. Stood. Kissed her like his life depended on it. I love you, he said. I love you too. So much. They stood on that beach, waves crashing, sun setting, and Odessa thought about fate. About a suitcase mix-up that changed everything. About a billionaire who saw her. About dreams coming true when you least expect it. When? She asked. When what? When do you want to get married? He smiled. Whenever you're ready. Tomorrow. Next year. I don't care. I just want forever with you. Spring, she decided. Next spring. Small wedding. Just family and close friends. Perfect. They called their people. Grace cried, Marcus congratulated them, Preston whooped with joy, Azalea screamed so loud Booker pulled the phone away from his ear. That night, they lay in bed in Booker's penthouse. Odessa had been staying there more and more. Do you think your dad would have liked me? Odessa asked. He would have loved you. Would have seen exactly what I see. Strength, talent, heart. He would have told me not to let you go. My dad would have liked you too. Would have appreciated that you work hard. That you honor your father's memory. That you treat me like I matter. You do matter. More than anything. We're really doing this. Getting married. We're really doing this. Your world is going to have opinions. Let them. This is our life. Our choice. Our love. She kissed him. Our love. I like the sound of that. Time, mid-November 2024, 5 months after meeting, proposal location, Folly Beach, off-season, during sunset ring, simple, elegant, single-stone engagement. Odessa said yes wedding plans, spring 2025, small wedding, family and close friends only boutique status. Thriving, 2 new part-time employees, online orders, local press features Booker's Austin deal, closed successfully. Company expanding living situation. Odessa staying at Booker's penthouse more frequently. 5 months. That's all it took. From a suitcase mix-up to forever. Booker proposed on Folly Beach and Odessa said yes. They're engaged. Planning a spring wedding. Building a life together. 2 different worlds becoming one. And sometimes, just sometimes, fate gets it exactly right. So there you have it. Odessa Gaines and Booker Whitlock. A fashion designer and a billionaire. A suitcase mix-up and a love story. From exhausted strangers in an airport to engaged partners building a life together. 5 months that changed everything. She got her boutique. He got his person. They both got something they didn't know they needed, each other. Real love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. Believing in each other. Fighting through the hard parts. Choosing each other every single day. Will their marriage be easy? Probably not. Will they fight about his world and her world and how to blend them? Definitely. But will they make it work? Absolutely. Because some love stories aren't about finding someone perfect. They're about finding someone real. Someone who sees you. Someone who shows up at midnight and helps organize fabric samples and proposes on a quiet beach because they can't imagine life without you. That's what Odessa and Booker found. In the chaos of identical suitcases and baggage carousels and the beautiful mess of falling for someone unexpected. Sometimes the best things in life happen by accident. Sometimes fate knows exactly what it's doing.